Hello there, everyone, and welcome to our slightly delayed 2024 Game of the Year from Wayofftrail and I over at Select Star Gaming. And oh god, we're starting. Oh, I don't. Oh,
I
that's how we
forgot
play
how to
this.
play.
Me too. We're playing Galty Friends because we like to play a game. Oh, I gotta get a hold of one. I am. We like to play a game when we do our top 10 games of the year. It's just a fun time. Dear God, your hat. I hate that so much. That way, you know, we
wiggly.
keep engaged while we do all this. We give something for us to do, and give something for you to watch while we have a little chat. Now, as a reminder, in case this is your first time seeing one of our Games of the Year videos, this is not like a just games that released in 2024. We're not doing. It's not that kind of Game of the Year. This is Game of the Year of games that we played for the first time or completed for the first time in this year. So you might see things that are much older, 5 years old, 10 years old, maybe a 20-year-old game. Who the hell knows? I've got something from the Game Boy Advance era. I can tell you that much. If that gives you any idea of how this was going to work. We got 10 games each. We've got an honorable mention. That honorable mention isn't necessarily our number 11 game of the year. It's just something that didn't make the top 10 that we wanted to highlight for some reason or another. In previous years, it has been our number 11. Sometimes it's been a dishonorable mention. It kind of depends every year. You were going to say something there, Wayofftrail.
Oh, no, good, you covered it.
Oh, okay.
Well, with that, as we play some golf with your friends with my little headbanger dude, I think it's time for us to get started with our top 10 games of the year.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm going to start us off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you usually do, so...
Yeah, that's why I thought I'd go for it. All right. I'm starting off with my number...
losing, sir.
Yeah, I forgot how to play for the first couple rounds. So, my number 10 game that I played this year happens to be a multiplayer game. Now, this particular game is actually free to play, and is relatively short, which is probably why it only ranked at number 10 versus anything else. The game is We Were Here. Me and ProTip played this game. It's a really kind of fun escape room style puzzle adventure. Pretty much you are locked in an area. However, you and your friend are separated. You find some walkie-talkies. You can communicate. And guess what? You have half the puzzle. They have half the puzzle. So you got to kind of work together and communicate what's important to survive the room before something, either some animal tears into the room and kills you, or the room floods, or what have you. Something was bound to murder you. But it was a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of escape rooms normally, and this just really kind of hit that sweet spot. And it was kind of fun to be like, all right, like one of them I could think of is like I needed a piece of the puzzle for him to do something as the water was rising in the room I was in. I'm like, solve the puzzle! Do it! So I don't die! And it was just kind of really, really fun. Adding that little stress factor to it. But it was really short, and that's kind of why I couldn't really put it much higher. But it is the first of a franchise of games, and me and ProTip kind of have plans to at some point do them, but we'll find out if we ever get around to it, so we'll see. But
it kind of sounds like the that often the final challenge in the mole, where you have all three of the last people that are in separate rooms and to help each other escape.
Oh yeah. Very similar.
Yeah.
I am really sucking, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It's at one point I just stopped seeing you and was like, oh, did he get ahead of me? Nah, doubt.
Well, that's my number 10 game of the year. Oh, we did forget to mention, we did say it was coming late this year because I was moving, by the way.
Oh,
so we didn't get a chance.
Wayofftrail bought a house.
I bought a house. So, and of course it was kind of around the time for we normally record this, and so we had to kind of had to wait, so, you know.
Yeah. It's fine.
It's fine. But anyway, that was my number 10. Zantok, why don't you start off your list?
All right, so my number 10, I'm going to preface here with my number 10 actually originally did not make my list. I had a different game on my list instead, but I decided to remove it because it felt kind of weird to include. The game I'm speaking of is the latest expansion for Final Fantasy XIV, Dawn Trail. I decided to remove that from my list, not because I don't think it's a top 10, but because it kind of feels weird to judge it when it's one expansion out of many, and also, technically speaking, we're not done with it. We've had its base release, we've had one bit of its patch content, but there's still a lot of patches to come, which are going to be adding more story and other content. So I was like, let's maybe not. And that made room for this game, which some may say, wow, only number 10, huh? The Last of Us Remastered.
Ooh.
It's a good game, don't get me wrong. The story is very good, and I enjoyed it. The gameplay is where it gets pulled down quite a bit for me.
That's fair.
Not that I think the gameplay is bad, it's just not my gameplay.
I hate it here, by the way.
I bet you do. I am bad. Like, if you've seen me play games, Wayofftrail, you know this. I am bad at shooters.
Yep.
And I am bad at stealth. Oh, well, I shouldn't say bad at stealth. Stealth stresses me out. And I do not enjoy it. So it's a bit of that. And The Last of Us is two things: shooting and stealth. That's the entire game. More or less. So it was a stressful time for me. Story's great. Gameplay, oh god. Why did I buy The Last of Us 2? Why did I do this to myself, man? But I do enjoy the story. There are some parts that I don't like, mainly just like the very end, I think could have been presented better. But beyond that, very well done. The little side story that you can do, that you get as like expanded content left behind, is very good. And I even, in time since finishing that game and us being able to record this, I was able to watch all of the first season of the show. And they do even better than the game as far as telling the story. Like, there's only like one section, story-wise, where I feel like the game was superior. Only one. The rest was on par or better, which is fucking saying something with video game adaptations. Because a lot of times, let's be real, they suck.
It's very fair.
But they did good shit.
I have played The Last of Us. I really enjoyed the story. I'm glad it did get a TV show. I didn't need to watch it. But, yeah, I can see why you wouldn't care for the gameplay as much. It makes total sense to me, but it is a great game. I do agree that is a great game.
At some point, probably this year, maybe next, I've got a lot of games on my plate that I want to play. I'm going to go to the second game. It's just going to take me a little bit to get there.
Yeah. I have seen it played or played it. One of the two. Not the actually the second. I'm not sure about that actually, but for sure, I think I played the first. Sometimes when you watch them and play them, you kind of forget.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I think that was me. I'm pretty sure I did. I think my friend owned it and I played it.
What friend?
Okay, you know, I have one.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Oh, awkward. Anyway, so my number 9 game of the year, to give me a distraction here.
I'm gonna kill him.
My number 9 game of the year is another multiplayer game that I didn't play with the Zantok, my friend.
What the fuck? I'm being replaced.
It's gonna make you really feel bad when it's the same person that I played with the last one.
And I would have played the first one you mentioned.
Oh, this is awkward. This one, though, I don't think you would have played, to be fair. This is No Man's Sky. Now, first off, beautiful game. The game is very pretty. Play style, okay, it needs some work. The play style of the game, the story, there's not really much of a story. There is a little, but not enough to keep me enticed in it. But the exploration part of that game, phenomenal. It is so pretty, so fun to just kind of bum around all the planets and universes, and just all these fun things that you can do. Now, the reason why, again, it doesn't rank so high, the story for me, but also because it's a little buggy. Like, Skilled Arrow actually jumped in, and we played with him for a little bit, and he was going to show us his his base. Me and Pro Tip went there, and just because we went there, his base got swallowed up by the Earth because it thought it was a new planet, so it regenerated itself. So, yeah.
So you ruined his base forever.
Yeah, just by visiting.
How mad was he?
He was more mad at the game than us, but, you know, I get it. Like, I would have been annoyed, but, I mean...
It's like Fallout 76 all over again.
Oh, that's that game. But it was a fun game. I played it for like 2 weeks straight, and then, you know, just kind of was like, and I'm good. You know, kind of something along those lines, where it's like, yep, I've played it. I've kind of seen it now. I get it. Moving on. But yeah, it is a game I would recommend to at least check out if you ever get a chance. But yeah, I rank that at my number 9 slot. Only number 9. I know a lot of people do like that game a lot, which is fair. But it's... And the science parts of it are really kind of neat. How you break stuff down into the different elements and atoms. And I mean, the science teacher made is all for that, but, you know. Yeah, so that's my number 9 game of the year. Zantok, what was your number 9 game that you played this year?
So, my number 9 game of the year is technically a multiplayer game.
Oh.
Well, actually, not even technically. It is.
Oh.
It's a 4-player multiplayer game and there's also ghosts.
Oh.
Yeah, because you see, you have your local play. Your local, not yokel.
Yokel.
Very different.
Oh.
And then there's online play, which actually isn't online play. Not really. I hate this whole. As soon as I saw the part, I was like, I knew I was.
I happen to have a little jetpack left and made that an easy shot.
You bitch.
This is where I catch up.
Yeah, it honestly is. But it's Super Mario Brothers Wonder. The latest 2D Mario game. The first and only one on the Switch. The last one that we had was actually just a port. Actually, no, not a port. The last one we had was Super Mario Bros. U, which I believe was early days on the Nintendo Wii U. So it's been a bit since we had a 2D Mario. It's also the first one with our new Mario voice actor, Kevin Afghani. And I'm not going to get into the debate of Afghani versus Charles Martinet, because I don't need to do that. Instead, I think the game, they did a really great job with it. The devs basically told, like, you have no deadline. There is no magical date that you need to hit to send this game out. Spend all the time that you need on it. Give it all the cool things you want. And when you're ready, then we can sell the game. And you don't see devs doing that very often. And they packed this game with some cool stuff. Yeah, it's a traditional Mario 2D platformer. But they also added in things like badges. That you can earn throughout the game. And then you can have special abilities. Like you can start out a level with a certain power-up. Or you can have an extra mid-air jump, or take Yoshi's flutter kick for yourself. Wild shit. A propeller. You can have a drift mechanic. You're slowly drifting through the air. Stuff like that. But there's also new power-ups, turning into an elephant. There is wonder effects. My god, the wonder effects. Every level, there's a wonder flower. Some levels it's required to interact with, some levels it is not. But the Wonder Flower, when you activate it, you activate a Wonder Effect which changes the level. It can turn it upside down. It can make it be a bird's eye view. It can turn Mario temporarily into a Goomba. You can become a ball that you have to guide around the map. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens, and almost every level has its own unique effect. The devs went hard. And you could tell that they had a lot of fun. And I hope future 2D Mario games continue that feeling of fun. Because the entire new Super Mario Bros. Era that we had from DS to Wii to Wii U, the first couple games were okay. But then they all felt kind of samey. Even when they did have like some new power-ups or not, they didn't feel different and
Yeah,
fun.
that's fair.
Yeah. But Wonder was a wonder.
I haven't really heard much about that game, so, you know, I do like my Mario games every once in a while, but I don't get into them, like, super hardcore.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a time I felt like they were just, like, very similar. Like, it was, like, the same game over and over.
They really were.
What am I looking at here? Oh, I see.
Asshole robots.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I was waiting for you to get scooped.
Well, yeah, so was I. I was like, as soon as I have control, I'm going.
But yeah. So, is it time for my number 8? Oh, I got a achievement.
It's time for your number 8. I beat you, bitch.
I got an achievement. Crash landed. Play a full game of Volcano. Achievement.
Oh, I guess you never have done this one.
Like,
I weren't sure.
Yeah. We were like, I don't remember that one. Looks cool.
Oh, I unlocked a rainbow trail.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna for sure go with this one because I'm pretty sure I haven't done this one either. So, my number 8. Oh. It's another multiplayer game.
Jesus Christ, man.
Zantok, yeah. My number 8 game, I did play with you!
Did you?
Yeah, this one's with you. Hey, you ranked up higher than the other ones.
That's good. What's the game?
Oh, it's Temtem.
Wait, but we haven't... Okay.
So, yeah, we played it, I think, early on, like, last year, like, a little bit. And we just never got around to getting back to it. However, I finally decided, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to put it on the list, get it as an option. Counting it. We didn't finish it, but I get the premise of it, so I'm counting it. It's Pokemon multiplayer. Not as good as Pokemon, but not too bad. You got some interesting, they're not Tems. I was thinking of a different game. Interesting Tems, and the multiplayer dynamic is interesting. I don't know if it's my favorite of a way to do multiplayer Pokemon, which is probably why it's not as high up. I feel like there could have been a better way to do a multiplayer Pokemon. But overall, it's not bad. Me and Zantok can never just find time to play games together. Like, you know, this. It took us a while to get this going. So, I mean, I also literally had no computer for a while. So,
yeah, don't bring me into this.
I'm bringing Zantok into. Well, and me and you have very different
pace.
Or not pace, but also taste and schedules. Yeah, methods. I like to just play games, you know, like on the spot. Like, hey, you free right now? Cool, let's play a game. Zantak's more give him a schedule, and then, you know.
I have so many things I'm doing. It can be like, hey, you want to play a game right now? It's like, I'm literally about to do a podcast. No. Or you done before, it's like, hey, you want to play a game right now? It's like, bitch, my stream is about to start. You know this.
Could have streamed the game we were playing. Jeez.
I play specific games.
This is why I don't commit to a certain game. But anyway, so yeah, we haven't really gotten around to playing it, and I think because every time we think about playing a game together, something else kind of just takes its spot. And so I guess it hasn't fully grabbed us that we're like, hey, searching out time to play it, which is probably why it's lower on the list. It probably would be higher if, you know, we both were actually, you know, like, finding time to do it, and it enticed us to actually play. But, yeah. It is what it is. But otherwise, I mean,
I do think it's good.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Pokemon.
Right. It scratches the itch of Pokemon, though. Yeah.
There's definitely some mechanics that I would prefer to have been different, but, you know. Let's be real, though. No Pokemon-like games are as good as Pokemon is.
That's very fair. And Pokemon does some stuff.
Pokemon is bad.
Yeah.
Pokemon is still good.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. They do some stuff that upsets me, but for the most part, they do all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's my number 8. Zantok, what's yours?
My number 8 is a spooky game.
Spooky game.
Spooky game. Technically, our second spooky game on my list this year. That's unusual. Huh. Well, this one's not just spooky, it's also a visual novel. So, you know, a little bit less spooky. It is from Nintendo, and it released this year. And when the marketing campaign for this game began, people had no idea what the fuck the game was. Because the marketing campaign began with basically this cryptic message was like, what is Imio? Or maybe it was who is Imio? And we just had a picture of just this dude with a paper bag over his head with this creepy ass smiley face drawn on it. And so we're all just like, Nintendo, what the fuck? What are you doing? What's happening here? Are you okay? Blink twice if you're okay. They blinked twice. But then we found out Imio is the third game in the Famicom Detective Club franchise, which is a visual novel series that originated on the Nintendo Famicom. They originally had 2 games back in the day, which were The Girl Who Stands Beside and The Missing Heir. And they started out being Japanese only, never got localized. Until a few years ago, when they got remade, and everyone was like, oh my god, what the fuck? It was a shock. And then they decided, hey, those games did well. And the creator wanted to make more. It was like, fuck it. I'm gonna make another one. And he did, and it's called Imio, the Smiling Man, Famicom Detective Club. It is a spooky murder, sort of bit of a murder mystery game. Visual novel style. You're trying to figure out who the hell is Imio and about like these murders where people are being found dead with paper bags over the head with smiley faces drawn on them. It's creepy. You know, it's pretty fucking creepy. But it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit slow to get the start, but very good at the end. And after the end, they even give you like a little epilogue where you get to learn more about the killer themselves.
Oh, interesting.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that idea. Murder mystery games. I do tend to enjoy some good murder mystery games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they kind of fun.
Oh, I'm in a horrible spot.
They're fun to whodunit. That's why we both like the mole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I also like the mole because unlike games like Survivor and Big Brother, where people can screw you over, in the mole, if you get knocked out, it's all on you. Like, yeah somebody may have tricked you, but
That's
it's on you.
Yeah.
You can't just get F'd by being on the wrong side of an alliance.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go to my number 7.
Oh my god.
I know.
You can cut that high.
Time for 7. So, my number 7 game of the year is a little odd. I first played it as a demo, and then was like, you know what? I can get behind this. It's kind of neat. It's Peglin for the Switch.
Oh.
I played the demo, actually, on Steam, and then I saw it released, and then I saw... Oh, one of these. And then I saw it was on... the Switch, and I'm like, a reason to get a Switch game versus a Steam game? Yeah. Because for me, I don't have too many Switch games, and I just wanted something to pass the time. And Peglin's a good one for that. It's a roguelike Peggle. So you're just literally shooting little pebbles, bouncing off of little pegs, and it counts as every peg you hit is like a damage to an enemy, and then you throw it at the enemy once you get through. It's kind of fun. A story, non-existent, but I like the play style of the game. It's something different that I really appreciate, and it's a good time waster. And it has lots of like different abilities and upgrades for a whole bunch of different play styles and runs that you can do, which is always a good time for a nice roguelike. So it's a Pebble-like. But yeah, you're a little goblin dude who's adorable.
I'm pretty sure he got in the Hunger Games the season that the year that you did that demo too.
It would have been this last year.
I feel like I remember that.
Oh, the demo may have made it last. I can't remember what year he made an appearance.
Well, definitely wasn't. It wasn't 2024.
Yeah, and then it's on my Switch, so I'm not recording it, so because I don't have the ability to do that, and I don't really want to.
Yes,
so,
you do.
My Switch games are, I mean, all the games I have for my Switch are pretty much just leisure games anyway. But yeah.
That's not true. You have Breath of the Wild.
I mean, the way I played that, it took years for me to play it, so I call that pretty leisurely.
Mm.
But yeah. So, yeah, I'm giving Peglin the number 7 spot game of the year.
All right. Well, my number 7 spot is an older game, and it's one that I actually teased already. I mentioned that there was a game on my list from the Game Boy Advanced era, and here we are. This is Golden Sun, a Nintendo RPG that the fans want more of, and Nintendo does not seem willing to give us more of. Whether that means Isaac and Smash, a remake of the first 2 games, or a 4th game at all. Nintendo. Come on, guys. But this is kind of an older style RPG, I've realized, because I've also been playing through a Dragon Quest game recently. I've been realizing, oh wow, Golden Sun plays a lot like this game does. So it's very Dragon Quest inspired, it feels like, in terms of combat. But it's also got a lot. It's very puzzly as well. Like a lot of the abilities that you'll get like elemental abilities, like being able to freeze water droplets into spires, making sprouts grow into ladders that you can climb on, moving objects with giant spectral hands. There's a lot of these abilities that you can get that you can then use on the overworld for puzzle elements, which is very unique and not common in an RPG at all. The story starts out kind of simple. You fucked up, hero, and now the bad guys have the things, and they're gonna try and do some shit to the world, and you gotta get your ragtag group to stop them. You know, kind of simple in that regard.
As you do.
But, as you do. But it's still pretty good. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I think the only thing I didn't really, big enjoy about the story was that it kind of ends abruptly. And I could only assume it's because of there just being memory limits on a Game Boy Advance cartridge, because they have it planned in the game. There's a whole password system where you can transfer your data from the first into the second. So they knew that they had more that they wanted. They just weren't able to do it in the first game. I'd love to hear part of the meetings that explains exactly what happened with all that, but you know, yeah, fun, short, and I wish it didn't end where it did, so I could have kept going. But that's how things go sometimes.
That's how they go.
But eventually I'll play the second game, and I'll transfer my data over so I can get all that fun completion stuff. I'll get to carry over some items in my levels and stuff and get some rewards.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, we're getting almost to the halfway point. A little shy. We're on number 6. My number 6 game of the year is a sequel to a game that I've played in the past. This is Slime Rancher 2. This game is pretty. It's also cutesy. You're a farmer that collects slimes on an alien planet, and you feed them, and you collect their poop pellets, and you sell their poop pellets. It's just adorable, and it's a really fun exploration game. Just seeing all the different areas, all the different slimes, and just trying to get as much money as you can as you're just kind of just living your own little life. And I had a lot of fun with the first game. So then I saw the second one was on Game Pass, free on Game Pass. So I was like, game I don't have to pay for? Heck yeah. So I did a shuffle on it and then was like, I'm going to keep playing this. And it's not done, I believe. However, I think there has been some DLCs since I last played it. So there might be some more gameplay to be had, including some sort of labyrinth or something. But I knew it wasn't finished when I played it, but I still enjoyed what there was at the time, which still was a decent amount. And it's just a fun, super relaxing game. You play it at your own pace, however you want to play it. It's a good time. I really enjoy it.
Sorry, what was it again?
Slime Rancher 2.
Gotcha. I'm getting mad at this hole, so I kind of stop listening.
Yep, that's fair. I didn't hear what your last game was either, so it's fine.
Golden Sun.
Yeah, that's right. So as we're doing these, we're when the other person's talking, we're like, I'm trying to play golf.
yeah. Sorry, what?
Yeah, what? Who are you?
Grandma?
Well, why don't you finish your back end of the list and get number 6 out of the way?
Let's not talk about my back end like that, sir.
That's fair. We're in a bad way.
Alright, so my number 6 is, while yours is the sequel to a game you've already played, mine is the prequel to a game I'm playing right now.
Oh.
All of your friends Zero.
Also, it is currently upsetting me.
Yes. No, actually, it's Yakuza 0. Prequel to the Yakuza franchise, and I think it released in between games 5 and 6, if I recall correctly. And it shows the origins not only for main protagonist of the franchise, Kazuma Kiryu, but of his, I don't know how to describe their relationship, his acquaintance, his co-worker of sorts, Goro
Majima.
Who is a fucking wackadoodle. Dear God. Love him, but he's a wackadoodle. But Yakuza 0 takes place, I believe, 20 years before the first game, which is kind of wild. And it shows their humble beginnings. The game starts out with Kiryu being framed for murder, and him leaving the Yakuza for it. You start the game part of the Yakuza. 5 minutes later, you're no longer part of the Yakuza. It's like, okay, I feel like I've been lied to. But so half the game, like, we're going back and forth every couple chapters between Kiryu and Majima. And Kiryu's story is, you know, trying to clear his name, figure out who the murderer actually is, and he gets embroiled into, I shit you not, a plot about real estate.
Yeah.
Kind of weird when you think about it. Meanwhile, there's Majima, who is kind of exiled from his Yakuza clan. He disobeyed orders and he got him into trouble, and he's having to manage a club. That's his exile, is managing a club. Man, I don't know what kind of exile how that's supposed to be, but all right, whatever, man. But then he gets a whole plot about he's supposed to kill somebody, and then he decides, you know what, I actually don't want to kill this person. And eventually, their storylines cross paths, and it's a lot of fun. The game also has like a bunch of really weird sub-stories that you can do. Some of them are fun. Like, you get to meet the Yakuza version of Michael Jackson and Steven Spielberg, who are shooting a new music video, which is a Thriller parody. I was like, okay. And I had to fight people pretending to be zombies and make sure that they don't harm Michael Jackson. I also had to infiltrate a cult, which was enjoyable. And then I had to teach a dominatrix how to be a dominatrix.
As you do.
That I did not enjoy. I felt very uncomfy. But, still a good game, a lot of fun. The gameplay I struggle with a little bit, because it's more action-y with RPG elements. But I didn't hate it enough to stop me from playing the next game, because now I'm streaming Yakuza 1, or Yakuza Kiwami 1, technically. It's a remake of the first game.
So
and they added more Majima.
I have not played Yakuza 0, however, I did watch it all the way through. I ended up watching someone play 0 all the way up until 4. I played 4. And then 5's next up on my list. And they are a good time, and as someone who's been to Japan, like, they make you feel like you are right there. It's great. I highly would recommend the Yakuza series. And yeah, you do get some crazy sub-stories.
Oh, yeah.
And the mini-games are wild. But you have so much stuff to do.
Karaoke in 0 and Kiwami 1. I'm told that eventually the Kiwami will get better, but I think it's not until, like, Game 5 or something where... Game 4 or 5 when the... Actually, no, it might not be until Game 6 when the karaoke isn't a shit minigame. I hate how it is right now.
Let's just say 4 is considered... It's either 3 or 4 is considered the ugly stepchild of the series.
In what regard?
Like, I think it's like just the story and the play.
Luckily, the stories are pretty short if you just blitz through them.
Like, even like the game itself knows that was kind of the meh one. They even reference it how it's not as good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they must have added something later to just kind of say something about it, or it was something in the late one after. I can't remember, but it was
probably the one after.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
I do intend to get through the rest of the franchise. It's just going to take me some time. And then there's the Judgment games that are no like, they don't have the Yakuza catch, but they're set in the same setting and maybe the same town or a neighboring region. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, this looks hell.
Nailed it! I hit the last one. But it kind of helped.
I went all the way through. Didn't even hit the power up.
Well, with that, I think we are on our top 5 games of the year now.
Yeah.
We made it to the top half. Alright. So, for me, my top 5 game that I played this year, played for quite a while, I'm giving it to Valheim. Me and Pro Tip were playing this for quite a bit. It hits a few of those buttons for me that I like. Survival, alright. Multiplayer, alright. Story, meh, kind of lost, not a ton of story. The gameplay is pretty fun. The looks of the game, and it has some very difficult times in it as well. Like, it's always one of those games where, you're doing alright in this little peaceful area. Alright, now that you're doing well, hey, the next thing you need to upgrade, hey, it's right across that line there in that spooky forest. And you're like, I don't want to go in the spooky forest, but I really want that shiny thing. And then you go over there and things kill you and murder you. And then you just, piece by piece getting stronger and stronger. I like the lore, like the feel of the Norse words. And so that part of it is pretty interesting to me, and I do enjoy that part of it a lot. However, we went to go back into playing it, and there was a new update, the Ashlands, and so we were like, oh, we can continue our series for it. And as we were playing it, it was brutally hard. Enough that we were like, this game is leaving Game Pass and it's no longer free in the week. And we don't want to commit the time to it or the sanity to it. So,
fair.
Yeah.
Very fair.
But we had spent a lot of time on it. That game, however, it sounds weird. Even though it's number 5 on my list, I'm not going to recommend to people necessarily unless you have someone who has played it before with you. Because otherwise, I feel like we played a long time, and Pro Tip had played before, so he knew, like, all right, the next step is this. These are the things we need. Go get it. I can't imagine having played that game not knowing where the next thing was, because it would have just taken forever. So, like, it's kind of one of those, like, yeah, it's fun with the right person who knows what they're doing. So, yeah. Which, that's probably why it's only number 5 and not anything more than that, so.
That's fair, that's fair.
Yeah. But played it quite a lot, so. Alright, Zantok, what's your number 5?
Oh boy, my number 5. Kind of like your number 5, I played this game for a long time. It is a very lengthy game, and I am inviting some hate when I say that's only hitting number 5.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Listen, guys, I'm just going to preface this. This is a very good game, okay?
I don't like where this is
It's
going.
got great characters.
Oh, God.
It's got great story. And I like what they do with your choices in this game and how you can really affect things. What I don't like is a lot of the technical, mechanical minutia. And having played it for a long time, over a year and a half probably of playing through the same game, and in multiple campaigns with different people, it's really highlighted some of my issues with the game, and it's dragged it down.
Did you say campaigns?
I did say campaigns.
Oh no, you didn't.
I did.
This seems blasphemous if I'm thinking
'Correctly. Yeah, because this game was on your list last year.
Yeah, I think it was like number 1.
It was.
Oh, you monster!
Baldur's Gate 3 is only number 5 on my list. Again, great story, great characters.
Oh, the characters are so good, and the story's
so good. But it's a lot of the technical, mechanical stuff in the actual gameplay that just kills parts of it for me. It is still good, again. But there's just a lot of mechanical things that just really frustrated me and pissed me off. That they could have, they should have had ways to mitigate. There are things that like they don't even teach you in the game that you're expected to just know from playing other games by their company. Well, I'm sorry. I've never even heard of your company before this game. So you're gonna have to fucking forgive me for not knowing that I can pick up objects and throw them onto the traps that are spewing out smoke to get rid of it. Excuse the fuck out of me. Teach your players shit. You don't even need a tutorial. Just have Lazelle or whoever make a comment about like, oh, I wonder if we can cover these up with these pots somehow. That's all you fucking needed. I have a lot of other smaller issues as well. Targeting is really bad. If I want to try and hit an enemy, it says, oh, you can't see them. It's like, the fuck I can. But no, it says that because there's this tiny little bit of staircase blocking my perfect eagle-eye shot to them. It's like, okay, I can still see them. Let me angle my bow up a little higher. No? I need a straight shot only? Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you. Great game, but mechanically, it pisses me the fuck off.
Okay, you know, I get it.
And all the games above it don't piss me off. So there you go.
Okay, I get it. I understand it. I hate it, but you know, I understand. Gameplay, story, fantastic. Characters, top notch. Like some of the best characters I feel like in games in general. Yeah, I can see some of the mechanics are a little wonky at times.
Yeah.
Little wonky. Oh, that hurts my heart a little though.
Yeah, well, get over it.
You know what? I will get over it. With my number 4 game of the year. Is actually another survival game.
Dear God, man.
Yeah. It's, well, multiplayer survival. And is, so really this game is like 3 of my other games I've done like combined. Because we had a Pokemon-like, we had a survival game.
Oh, God damn it.
It's Pal World!
Jesus Christ.
So, for me, the reason why Pal World's ranking so high, well, first off, I put a ton of time into it. I love my survival games. I like Pokemon games. I like open world Pokemon even better. But the reason why it didn't make anything higher than that, it had some weird glitchiness to it and things like that. And, I mean, it's got some weird stuff happening. It's a little weird. I know a lot of people were hyped about the Pokemon with guns. I could honestly give two.
Couldn't give two.
Oh, sorry, I went down here and now I'm upset. I could really care less about the gun part of Pal World. It is not my jam. I don't like that part of Pal World. And I know for some people that's like the whole appeal of it. I was like, do you have... I'm pretty sure before I even got it, I'm like, do you have to use guns? Because I'm like, it seems just kind of dumb to use guns. So yeah, some people did get into the gun part of it. I was not one of those people. I was like, nah, I'd rather just not. But it is weirdly satisfying the first time you see one of the little lambs to beat it with a bat, and you're like, I don't know why, but I feel a little, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but it was kind of funny. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed actually being able, unlike a lot of Pokemon games, to actually get all of the Pokemon without having to, you know, do any crazy things like trade with a person from a different game, or flip your system upside down, or, you know, like, some of those are funny and kind of interesting, but like, if I have to rely on other people, that kind of takes away a little bit of it from me. I'm like, I'd rather be able to do it myself. So that part, I like being able to get all of them legitly without...
Have you heard of a little game called Pokemon Legends Arceus?
You know, I have, and I played it. However,
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one as much as other Pokemon games.
What the bitch?
Because they didn't have... I like my gyms, and they didn't really have gyms.
Okay.
And trainer battles, and they didn't really have too many trainer battles either.
Yeah, and the trainer battles, the battle system in Arceus definitely needed some tooling. It honestly did.
That being said, I would have liked to see some different types of possible trainer battle ideas for Pal World or something else like that. I think now there's been a few updates since we last played, but I feel like there could have been something interesting there, but they just kind of had the like boss fights, and that was kind of it. And you're like, okay, you know, like I don't know where I'm going in this hole, by the way.
Me either.
But overall, I had a lot of fun with it, and we even like grinded, like trying to get like. Normally, I don't really care about the stats of a person, you know, but when they actually help you make things to move on, you're like, oh, actually, I do care about his stats if it's going to help me make things.
Fair.
So yeah, this definitely legit, not Lucario looking dude.
Not Lucario, not Wooloo, not Eevee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna help me here. I could see why Nintendo was upset. I understand. Fair point.
Yeah, I could go on a rant about why I don't like Pal World, and I don't think it's good. But that's potential. That will take me a lot of time. We don't have that much time.
Yeah, and the one other part I really enjoyed about was that it wasn't just multiplayer. You could have multiple people playing. Like, you could have a server of people playing. And I like that idea. In fact, we had at one point, I want to say 4 or 5 people playing, which was kind of fun to have that many people playing Pokemon at the same time. So, you know, I enjoyed it. So, that's why it's number 4 for me. And I understand why you wouldn't put it that high, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah, no. I gotta stop myself from going around because I so want to say things negative about that game. Oh my god, I hate it. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on for my own sanity and mental health, which is the same thing but different. My number 4 is also a survival game.
That's surprising.
Kind of. Not really. Your characters are trying to survive.
Oh.
In a visual novel where they are on their phone
okay.
Hey, it's survival, you know, sort of. In a manner of speaking.
Hate you.
Come on, did you really think I was gonna have a survival game up this high?
That's why I was like, where are we going with this?
To hell. No, this is the third and currently final game in the Zero Escape franchise. I started playing this game because I was forced to play it due to a poll. Well, not this game. I started playing the franchise because I was forced to play it through a poll several years ago with 999, 9 per hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. And then I played through the sequel, Virtue's Last Reward, and now finally, Zero Time Dilemma. The whole thing with this franchise is, as you're going through, you're not only solving escape rooms, but you're also trying to solve the mysteries of everything and trying to escape with people alive and, you know, not your arm blown off or a bomb blowing up the entire facility. But the way you do that is you have to actually navigate the timeline. And I don't mean make the correct choices to get to the end. I mean navigate the timeline. Because in other games where you make choices and you can see different events, it's not canon. You know, you're just going through things. You can see all your different choices. In this game, every timeline, every choice is canon. Your characters have the ability to mentally jump from one timeline to another to experience different choices and learn different things, and then they can take that knowledge, jump to another timeline, and be like, "Oh, hey guys, the code for that bomb, I think I found out the code." They're just like, "What? How do you know?" "I just do." Because if you tell them that you got it from another timeline, they're gonna lock you up in a straitjacket. But that's how this whole franchise works. And this game is the last one in the series so far. And the premise is basically just pulling right off of the end of the second game, where you know that there is a global pandemic that is going to happen soon if you don't stop a virus from being unleashed from the facility that you are now trapped inside of. And if you don't stop it, 2/3 of the people on the planet will die. How's that?
Oh, you know, it happens.
There is zero time for any dilemmas.
I get it. So, we are at our top 3 games of the year now.
Oh, 3.
And you just said how you were forced to play that game.
Uh-huh.
You know, like it was part of a poll.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3 game of the year actually was a part of a similar poll. And I was forced to play it for the first time. That game for me was Hades.
Oh.
So I had to play some Hades for a poll that was forced upon me. And I'll admit, I was happy it won. It's been a lot of fun. Now, I haven't got a chance to play it like a ton. However, if you play a roguelike, you play like 3 rounds, you kind of understand how the game works at that point. So, I have beaten it a couple, like, I guess, played, and beaten it might not be the right word, but I have completed the levels. Anyway,
You've done 3 different runs.
Yeah, I've gotten escaped a few times, but it has a way to tie you back in, even though you escape, to keep going and try new weapons and get new upgrades, try new layouts, and it's another like, hey, sweet, you made it through once, and you got some of this money for this thing. Cool, that money can unlock some of this stuff. But this other money can unlock some of this stuff that help, and all of them help you through the game, which is really, really nice. And the art style, fantastic. The gameplay itself, really fun. So I'm really, really glad that this game won that poll for me, and I was pretty excited about it. And it'd always been on my list to play, and I just never got around to it. And then finally I was like, hey, you're being forced to do it. You better play. I'm like, all right, deal. So that helps when you have to. So I'm glad it won so I could be forced to play it. I mean, hey, it made number 3, and it probably had, of all the games on my list, the least amount of time to woo me. So, you know, I think it was the latest edition, so...
Last of Us was my latest edition.
Oh. Yeah, my latest edition beat out a whole bunch of other games I played that year. So, hey.
There you go.
Yeah. I hate this hole.
Yeah. This is a terrible first hole.
And it's the first, yeah. Like, usually the first is like a, here you go.
I mean, technically this is a straight shot. But the hell.
Right. Anyway, Zantok, while we're getting upset about this game we're playing in the background, not commenting on it all, what is your number 3 game of the year?
I cry inside. And my number 3 game of the year is admittedly some nostalgia bait for me.
Ooh.
I'm definitely wearing some nostalgia glasses, and I don't give a shit. This is a remake that I had to control myself when this game got revealed, because I was in a public space when this game was being revealed, and I couldn't be loud in that kind of situation. For years, I had wanted something new from this game, whether a remake, a sequel, or something, because this is a childhood game for me. And when they finally announced it, I couldn't believe it was true. There was a rumor that popped up like days before the game was revealed. It's like, no, God, don't give me hope. You know, one of those.
Okay.
And then Nintendo, those bastards, they did it. After all these years, Super Mario RPG Remake is real.
Yeah.
And they did a fantastic job with it. Sometimes with remakes, there's always a bit of a concern. It's like, okay, are they going to be faithful to the original? Are they going to be too faithful? Are they going to make good quality of life changes? Or are they going to make a lot of stupid changes? And while there are a couple changes that I don't care for, mainly the renaming of some enemies and items, that's extremely minor. You know, extremely fucking minor. They gave the game a whole fresh new coat of paint, but it still looks and plays the same. They updated some aspects like the inventory system. They gave us some new tools that we can use in battle with trio attacks where all three of your party members can do a super move together, which is really cool. They added boss rematches at the end, which was extremely unexpected. Pretty much everything that they changed besides the art style was an unexpected plus. The original is one of my favorite games of all time. And seeing it get a remake was a shock. Seeing the remake be of high quality was a shock. Seeing Nintendo acknowledge Mario RPGs in a good way and not just making shitty Paper Mario sequels was a shock. Nintendo, give me some more of that. I don't know what you need from me, but I need more.
Gino for Smash?
Gino for fucking Smash. He has never had better chances than he has had right now. I have always wanted him in Smash, and I always knew it was a pipe dream. It's a bit less of a pipe dream now. That said, if he doesn't get in the next one, I don't think he ever will. But he actually has a chance. And I am so ready for it.
Remember you forced me to play the original game?
I did.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
So, when Zantok told me, he goes, oh my god, the best thing ever has happened. Like, he was so excited about this remake. Like, it was kind of crazy how excited he was. I just remember how, like, you don't get, like, super excited about games. This one you were crazy excited about.
I mean, I'll get excited about games, but it's gotta be, like, the right thing. It's gotta be something I'm really into, like Mario RPG or the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. The rumors of a Final Fantasy IX remake, probably not extensive to the 7 one. If we got Mega Man Battle Network 7, I would lose my shit on that as well. There are definitely things I'll lose my shit about, but yeah, definitely there's not a lot. I don't think I am typically that bombastic.
Yeah, not usually. Well, I think it's time for our number 2s, and that doesn't mean they're crap.
Nope.
So, my number 2 game of the year goes to... Weirdly, I had Temtem on the list, and I had Pal World on the list, which are both Pokemon-like games. Well, I have another Pokemon-like game on the list.
Yokai Watch?
Actually, it's an actual Pokemon game.
Oh!
Yeah!
This is Pokemon-like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Pokemon, because it is. I'm giving it to Pokemon Violet. So, Pokemon Violet was the last one and that I played. And I thought it was a huge upgrade from Arceus. Again, I like my gym battles. I like my trainer battles. That stuff is my favorite. However, the thing Arceus did that I was glad about, I also like the open world style for Pokemon games. I think that's a little bit better. Not as linear. Which made it fun, because I could choose, like, hey, I could go the gym badge option. I could go the Titan Pokemon. I could go for the Team Star. No, what were their names? Was it Team Star? Yeah, Team Star.
Yeah. It was called Starfall Street was the name of that section of the story.
Yeah, could go that. Like, there were so many options. It was like, whatever one I want to do. So... that was kind of fun. I mean, yes, you had to mix them up a little bit, but it made it feel like you had a little more of a choice and freedom on what you wanted to accomplish, which was really, really fun. Also, F this hole. So, and like I realized the other day, like the DLCs for it were also really good. And I realized I hadn't completed the DLC for the, for it. I've got that just in time. Hadn't completed the DLC for it, so I've been working on that the other day. And finally beat it. But, yeah, it's fun. Again, like the parts that get me a little bit is mostly like how to attain certain Pokemon and things like that. Like, if you know, especially if you're like playing like by yourself, you know, like you don't have anyone else around that has it, makes it a little hard. Like when you have a shiny Dusclops that you want to be a Dusknoir, and you're like, it means I gotta figure out a way that, you know, either you take a gamble.
Just message me.
Yeah, or I message Zantok, which I really don't want to do. But, you know, like, but if I was playing by myself, you know, like, I know I could ask you for it, which, by the way, I need to do because I do have a shiny Dusclops. And you know the person will give it back to you. But, like, otherwise, trying to get through some of the trades for certain things was like, ugh, pain in the butt.
Yeah, version exclusive legendaries.
Yeah, the forget what they're called, but the ones that are like old timey and the ones that are futuristic.
Paradox, yeah.
But that part, meh. But anyway, like overall though, the story was really good.
Quick question for you: you said you played through all the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Does that include Mochi Mayhem?
Oh, maybe not. I don't know what that is.
I didn't think so. Mochi Mayhem is an epilogue to the DLC. You have to be in both Kitakami Island and the Blueberry Academy. I don't remember where it starts. It might start at the school. There might be something there. Or go to Kitakami and you'll continue it from there. But there's another little section that you'll get that you can play through.
Oh, yeah. Like I just kind of was messing around in the. I was trying to fill up some decks in the Blueberry Islands, or Blueberry Academy. But yeah, otherwise, Pokemon Violet, number 2 for me.
All right. Well, my number 2 is another remake.
Oh my god.
Or actually, I shouldn't say remake. I should say it's a reload.
Oh.
You know, that joke doesn't really work here. I might have to workshop that one for later. Oh man, that's a shame. But I'm referring to Persona 3 Reload. They took Persona 3, which has had 2 other remakes of itself previously, with FES on PS2 and the portable version on PSP. Wow, fuck this hole. But now they've taken the game and they've remade it again, basing its graphics and look and soul fucking sass style on Persona 5. It looks incredible. It looks absolutely incredible. They added voice acting to all the social link events now, which it wasn't there before. I think there's only there for like parts of them, and now like the whole thing is voice acted. Which, yes, thank you. Give me less work to do. While also still keeping all the core of the game. They didn't really change anything story-wise. Although, in some respects, it would have been nice to have had some more details on certain things, but it's okay. It's fine. Whatever. We'll get over it. And they made it feel bigger. Persona 3 is the first one of the new style of Persona games, because 1 and 2, they have Personas, yes. There's wildcards and separate thing, yes. But all the social link and calendar system and all that started in 3. And they modernized it in a lot of ways. I think they did a great job. And now I want them to do it to 4. Well, I want Persona 6. I want Persona 4 to get the Persona 5 treatment now. Because it feels weird to have 3 and 5 have the same, similar, consistent look to them. And then there's 4, which is locked to PS Vita graphics.
Yeah, I mean, I thought 4 was okay. Like, I didn't hate it. But,
4 is very good.
Yeah, I guess I haven't played 3 or 5 to compare graphics to, so. But
well, imagine you played 4, so imagine that. Now imagine PS5 graphics.
Oh.
And people that are, aren't just tiny little chibi figures.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Not that Persona 4 is chibi, but you get it.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking
a proper
about
map for run around.
I was thinking about a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, but now that you mentioned, I forgot about like when you're running around, what you look like. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot about that part of the game. Yeah. Okay, I see your point. All right.
Yeah.
Well, next up would be our number 1 games of the year. However, it's time for what, like Zantok said earlier, for honorable mentions. Now, these games, like he said, aren't necessarily number 11. They just, for some reason, didn't make the top 10, and we just want to give it a shout out just because it was a game that happened, and whether it be good or bad. So, I'm going to start off with my honorable mention. It's a good game. It's Coral Island. Now, the reason why it's not ranking so high for me is because, or it's hitting honorable mention, is because it probably would have done very well, but I was kind of playing it very slowly, and so slowly that Game Pass was like, oh, by the way, everyone, we're taking Coral Island off the list in a week, bye. And I was like, oh, I only played like through not even the first year yet. Oh, dang it. So, I didn't really get a chance to fully play the game as much as I would have liked. So, otherwise I have a feeling it would have done very well. It's just kind of unfortunate that that's how it kind of ended up. But, it probably would have done extremely well. It hits a lot of boxes for me. Stardew Valley-like game. In fact, it's like very, very similar. And, the graphics and style of it are very nice, and I like that a lot. And even the story is really good, and the characters are good. But it just, I didn't get a chance to experience it in all its glory, and that makes me sad. So I figured, you know what? Odds of me playing it again, I just didn't feel like starting over and buying it again. So I'm like, all right, I'm giving it honorable mention here. So, yeah. Zantok, what for you do you feel deserves an honorable mention?
So, I had several games that I was considering here. And if I didn't kick Dawn Trail out, then I probably would have had Last of Us be the honorable mention, because it would have felt weird not to talk about it. But I narrowed it down to 2 games. One, a multiplayer game that I was introduced to recently, which has been some good, casual fun. The other is a little game called Animal Crossing New Murder.
Ooh.
And you're probably a little confused about that, because that is not the name of an official Animal Crossing game. This is a fan game of sorts, using the actual Animal Crossing New Horizons game. Because in New Horizons, there's this functionality called Dream Islands, where somebody can create a version of their island and save it, and then upload it for people to go visit. Their character can go talk to this, can go to bed, and they can dream about another island. And they get to visit that island in that state, that how somebody else created it. They can interact with some objects, they can pick things up, and just kind of see what you got going on. And so this pair of people, who I think are a couple, Jen Padilla and Chris Padilla, they took this and made a murder mystery game. You talked about how you like murder mysteries, so, maybe you'll look into this. They have it where you go to this island that was created, and you also go to a browser website, acnewmurder.com, and you can play through the game. The whole premise is somebody attempted murder on the poor, unlucky villager, Lucky the dog. And they need a detective to come by and try to solve the murder. So
I'm gonna pause you for 1 second. Sorry. Keep talking, but I have to let the dog out, so I'll be right back.
Unlucky. So you have to go visit their dream island, where you'll pick up evidence, which you then type in the name of that evidence in the browser game, and it will unlock it for you. And then you can use that evidence as clues. You can present it to other villagers, kind of Ace Attorney style, and you get them to talk about things and ask them questions. And you'll go to court, and you'll do a whole court segment there, asking people things, as you try to figure out who tried to do a murder. It's pretty short. It's about 7 hours long. I streamed it. The quality of the stream isn't super great because there were instances where I had some audio issues of sometimes not having the audio of the Switch game, sometimes having double audio of the Switch game and the browser version. It was an experiment. I wish I did a little bit better job with that. But the outset was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It was a short little visual novel murder mystery. And I think if they made another one, I'd probably play it. I know they've made some other things, but they haven't made anything else with Animal Crossing to my awareness.
I saw you playing this, or you told me about it, and I was like, that sounds interesting. It was one of them I meant to watch at some point, so it's on my list to do.
You should play it.
I guess I technically could.
I mean, you don't gotta stream it.
Yeah, true. Guess I didn't think about that. I could actually play it.
Okay.
Alright. Is it time?
Yeah, actually, we've run out of time with it in the video.
Oh,
Sorry,
man,
guys.
sorry, everybody. That's all we had. Just kidding. We've got time for our number 1 games of the year that we played. So, that being said, this game, for me, number 1, I enjoyed it immensely. I had so much fun with it. It is Dave the Diver. This game, kind of just, I found someone streaming it, or who had recordings on it, and was like, what's this? This looks interesting. And was watching it. Watched like the first hour of their Let's Play on it, and was like, stop. I love it. I want to play it. And so I was like, this is something that I'm totally interested in. It's indie, and you're just Dave. And you're a diver. And you pretty much go and you go fishing. Yes, take the fish. You bring them to your sushi restaurant. You make sushi. But there's so much other story involved, and the characters are good. And like it has these like different styles of play in it that is not just diving for all of a sudden, like you might be infiltrating a base and it's like you're playing Solid Snake. There's a DDR part that you're like, where did this come from? And it's just kind of a wild adventure. And yeah, the cutscenes are just craziness. You never know. Like, some of them are so funny. And they even did a bunch of like collaborations with different games and people. I know there's one with the name of the singer is MXM Tune. There's a Baltro collab. There's Baltro, yep. There's what was the other one? Potion Craft. And even I noticed there's a collab with a game that Golf with Your Friends collabed with.
What?
Dredge, which is the boat that we both have as our thing if we fall in water.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yeah, that is. It's a spookier fishing game. I haven't played it, but apparently, yeah, the devs for that game are willing to just collab with people. So might be interesting. I might look into that game at some point.
They should collab with us.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, get a sponsorship. We'll sell our soul, but not to Apex.
Right. Valorant.
I'd rather
though.
jump off a cliff.
Fortnite. Yeah, so I really enjoyed Dave the Diver. And I, like, spent so much time, and, like, it got to a point, like, it's kind of another survival-like game where you get, you get money for selling fish, obviously, but then, like, what do you do with the money? You can either upgrade your diving suits. There's a farm that you can work on, a fish farm. There's so many, your restaurant, there's so many different ways to spend the money, and you're like, what do I prioritize? I spent so much of that time, even like I stopped recording, and I was just like, all right, I'm stopped recording. However, I'm going to try and get all the money for my employees at the restaurant just to get them all trained up. And I just spent hours doing that, and I had so much fun doing it. I just... Like, 100% of the game. It was that fun for me. So, I was really glad to play it, and I would highly recommend that game to anybody. So, it's a good one. So, that is my number 1 game that I played this year, Dave the Diver. Alright, Zantok.
Alright. Well, My number one of the game. My
What?
number one game of the year, if you know me at all, should come as no fucking surprise. I like to, I don't necessarily know every year what's going to be my game of the year when so I don't like say, oh yeah, this is one, this is two, this is three. I don't do it that way. I have like this whole round robin-ish like system where I figure this kind of shit out. With that said, no game stood a chance for number one compared to this. It is another remake.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Or perhaps I should say, a rebirth. yeah, the joke works way better with this title. Reload? That doesn't work there. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. The second game in the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. We don't know what the third game's going to be called yet. For funsies, we'll call it Revengeance. If you know why, you know why. But Rebirth followed up on Remake and did the job perfectly. They fixed almost every issue that people had with Remake. There's still a couple things that could use some addressing. We went from the first game, which took place just in the city of Midgar, and was basically a lot of side questing that you could do, which was satisfying or not satisfying. It took what was like a 1 to 2 hour location in the original game and turned it into a 30-hour location. Rebirth, you finally get access to the world map, and there is so much stuff to do. You still only go to the end of disc 1 of the original game, which there's 3 discs, by the way, but it is jam-fucking-packed with content and things to do. Not just going around the world map and operating towers to unlock objectives around the area, or not really unlock, but reveal where they're at more likely. There's a bunch of different mini games you can do. A lot of fun side quests, which were received a lot better than the ones in Remake. And what they do with the story, yes, they changed some elements, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, minor changes. And it's really more them adding context to things, or being able to have their vision actually be realized. Because there's been a lot of material that we've gotten in the years past that have explained some things that weren't shown in the original. Well, now Rebirth can go over all that, and they're including all these characters that were in books or other materials. It's like, yeah, they were here. We just didn't know them at the time. But Rebirth did a fan-fucking-tastic job. I spent about 150 hours in Rebirth. It's a big game. But
yeah.
It is fun as hell.
I remember making thumbnails for that game.
Yeah. I could not have been happier with how it turned out. Really. Like, yeah, sure. Everybody has some things that they would have liked to have an addition to it, like small things. But they did a great job. And with Remake, we were all kind of unsure. It's like, are they going to make this good? How's it going to work? It's a lot more action-y. They're adding a lot of things. I don't know. And then based on the ending of Remake, with Rebirth, which was like, okay, are they going to be able to stick the landing with Rebirth? I don't know. Are they going to cut out the world map? Because Final Fantasy's been kind of weird about world maps in recent years. I don't know how it's going to go. Now when it comes to Part 3, I have no reservations. I have full faith and confidence that they are going to knock it out of the fucking park. And now I just have to wait for 2027 for that to actually release. Not confirmed date, but it's a heavily speculated one. Both based on how long it took for Rebirth to happen, and also because, hey, look, Part 3 of Final Fantasy VII Remake releasing in 2027. Haha, funny jokes.
Well, with that, ladies and gents, we have hit the end of our list of games that we have played this year. Or
have we?
Oh, yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, what do you mean?
We're done.
We're dead. But you might not be. So, here's the thing. We like making these, and we like, we keep track throughout the year. You might not do that. However, we like to know, though, leave a comment. What was your favorite game that you played this year? It could be anything. Or, if you have a top 10, let us know. we're interested. It is it's just kind of fun to kind of reflect on the games that we played and kind of see what kind of stood out as a favorite and what kind of fell away as like I played that. It didn't do great, but I played it. So yeah, leave a comment. Top 1, 3, 5, 10 if you remember 10 of them that you played this year.
20?
Yeah, hey, if you really were gaming, let us know your top 100 games you played this year.
I mean, I had 18 this year.
I think I was around the same. But I had some we both had some longer ones too. But so let us know like what on our list you're like, yeah, that was a great game. Or be like, no, that game why'd you rank that so high? It sucked. Or Jesus, Zantok, Baldur's Gate, really that low? What the hell? Let us know your thoughts. We like to read your comments, so.
We honestly do.
Yeah. So, but with that, ladies and gents, we will see you all later. Have a good one and play more games. Bye.